I'll introduce the text, the flowers, then the theme, and the third focus is my analysis. And in the last part of the presentation, I will compare the short story, The Flowers. Okay, the text. The Flowers is a short story by Alice Walker, who is an American writer. The main character in The Flowers is a black girl named Maya, and she's 10 years old. The story is written in 1973, and in this period of time there was a lot of racism, especially how the white people treated the black people like animals with no respect at all. And this racism plays a major role in this short story, but I will return to that later in my analysis. And the theme, I don't think that there's only one theme in this short story, which is important if you want to understand the whole story correctly. And racism is of course a very controversial topic, and it's represented in The Flowers as well. But I will go into details about that later in my analysis as well, where I specify my claims with quotes from the text. And another theme in this short story is the beautiful things in life, but also evil is represented. Then my analysis. This short story doesn't tell us where we are, but in the text we get some hints that may tell us the location.
What kind of hints do you get in this short story?
For instance, Alex Walker writes that the harvesting of the corn and the cotton, and we see that the girl Maya is black as well, because on line 10 it says that her dark brown hand. So we have two hints, the harvest and the black girl, and therefore the location could be in some of the South states in the United States, and probably a state like Mississippi, because in this period of time there was a lot of black slaves working with agriculture in the southern states in USA. And in the second part of the story, Maya sees a body laying on the ground, and suddenly the atmosphere changes drastically.
Why does Maya and this atmosphere change drastically? In what way does this affect her?
Before, in the first part of the story, she collected flowers, which is expressed on line 21. It says that she found, in addition to various common but pretty thorns and leaves, an armful of strange blue flowers. And now the atmosphere changes into something strange and something dark, which is expressed in the quote, "The strangeness of the land made it not as pleasant as her usual haunts." So now there is kind of like a contrast between these two situations in a way, and then suddenly she runs into this body on the ground, and it's a dead man, and to her it looks like that, and to the audience as well, it looks like that he's been killed, because Alice Walker writes that he had large white teeth, all of them cracked and all broken, and his head lay beside him. So it looks like that the dead man was beaten to death, and the dead man was wearing overalls as well, which indicates what I said before about the location of the story, because in this period of time it was the black men who worked very hard. Yes. And it looks like that the man and the body has been laying on the ground for a long time, because the only thing Maya really sees on the ground is big bones, and the buckles of the overalls had turned green. So we get some hints that the body might have been laying on the ground for quite a long time. But this quote shows that also the oppression of the black people, because no one was actually looking for this man, and Mayab is only about a mile from home or so. So as audience, we get the impression that the man maybe isn't important to society because he's black.
Why do you think that that's a problem in this society?
Because in this period of time, a lot of, as I said before, a lot of these white men didn't have that respect for black people. And as I also said before, he's probably been beaten up and mistreated by some white men, and then hanged until death, because Maya sees a noose on the ground as well. So we get some hints that may tell us that he's been killed and mistreated. And in the end, Maya laid down her flowers, and the summer was over, which could be a symbol of the transition from her childhood to maybe her youth, because before she ran into this body, the only thing she saw in life was, the beautiful things. It was the flowers. But now she sees these evil things as well, which could be expressed in the dead man, who probably, as I said before, has been killed. So now she's not this innocent girl anymore, but because she has seen a dead body. And I think that, I'm not sure about this part, but I think that the flowers maybe could be a symbol of this innocence and this childhood as well. So what I think the message with this text is that Alice Walker wants to tell us that there's not just good things in life, but evil is also reality. So that the flowers and the dead man are used to substantiate this message from Alice Walker with good and evil.
Why do you think she uses a black girl to show this picture instead of a white girl? Why is the color, the race, important in this case? You said earlier about this being a white supremacist country or something, a white supremacist age. So why does she focus on this black girl instead of a white girl? Do you think the black girl sees more of these things in her life, that black people sees more of this evil, maybe?
I think this period of time that the black people sees more evil than good, because I don't know for sure, but a lot of black people were mistreated a lot and were slaves, and that could be the answer to why she picked a black girl and not a white girl, but also how that the black girl is also innocent when she's younger, like a lot of kids, but it could show that she's only 10 years old, and that's quite young to turn into the youth. So it could tell us that is maybe a hard age being a black girl. It's very difficult to be black in this period.
So maybe the flower and the dead man is a representative of the future, maybe. Like the flower is her now.
Yeah, it's her childhood.
Yes, and
the body is to show that there's not just good things in life.
Yeah, maybe she someday will end up in this same position.
Yeah,
Who knows?
Yeah, exactly.
Just trying to.
Maybe in some way she will be a slave as well. And maybe she is a slave, but we can't say that for sure.
She's still innocent.
She's innocent now, yes. But when she sees this body, she's not this innocent girl anymore, because they are evil as well. And then, in the last part of the presentation now, I will compare the short story The Flowers with the movie Crash, because I think that this story The Flowers are similar to the movie Crash in many ways. For instance, racism plays a major role in both of the stories, and also this oppression of the black population, as I said before, that it's difficult to be a black man in this period of time.
Why is Crash that relevant? Is this story a crash?
Yeah, it is actually a crash, because before she was this innocent girl, but now she meets the evil things in life, which is a crash for a young girl. She's only 10 years old. And in Crash, this racism comes to show by when the police officer acts with no respect towards two black persons in a car. So they are similar in a way to each other.
Very good, Alexander.
Thank you.